No Narratives Podcast, episode 23. I got my guy Quin. Y'all know this is the basketball pod. How you been, man? What's going on? You want to get right into
Man,
it?
I'm good. Just going through my Sunday medicated, hence the shades. So
Oh,
I
okay.
wanted to,
I know what's going on. I know what's going on.
Yeah. I mean,
We did that last time we
fall.
recorded.
Yeah. Sunday's rest day. So
Yeah, you rejuvenating for the work week. I got you. I got you. So man, listen, I just want to talk real quick. I want to get into. I guess we can get into the Bucks since you said you only had like 30. So let's get into the Bucks, man. What's going on with them, brother? Like what's really the problem and what is going on there in Milwaukee?
they just not connected.
Yeah,
They're just not. They don't really have an identity as a team. They're just kind of like operating off of whatever Dame and Giannis do. It doesn't seem like there's a real camaraderie. There's a real understanding of what each other wants to do and just kind of like leading the team that way. Like they're slow to get to 50-50 balls. They're a little aged in the perimeter defense department. And they just not playing with like any real intensity. And that's just kind of what I see. Like they just kind of whatever. And their record shows that. I mean, granted, I give them a little bit of slack for the Cavs. The Cavs played great. They played great. They just lost on a last second shot by Mitchell. So, that's one thing. But it's just they're not. They need an entirely different roster to kind of, I think, bring out the best in Dame and Giannis. I still think this roster is still kind of lagging behind because it's still kind of built like it was in 2021, and we're not in that type of era right now. So,
yeah. I mean, with the new CBA, every team, I don't want to say every team, but specifically with the Milwaukee Bucks and the Denver Nuggets, you make these trades, you put yourself up against the salary threshold. Now you're against the first apron, you're against the second apron, whatever the case may be. The only thing that you could do is sign minimum guys. So now you can't even get the talent that you need to really fill your roster. You can't do what it takes to make trades and improve in any real way. So you're kind of stuck. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. This team is not athletic. They're older, they're longer in the tooth. They have Taurean Prince getting major minutes. They have Gary Trent Jr. getting major minutes. They have some depth and some young guys on the bench, but I don't think Doc Rivers really trusts those guys as much as he trusts the vets that he has. And when you're only dependent on Dame and Giannis to get you all your buckets, like that's tough. Like I'm looking right now, it said that outside of Lillard and Antetokounmpo, the remaining players managed 38 points. Taurean Prince gave you 16. Bobby Portis added 10. Like that's 26 points from two guys on the roster, and the rest. And then you got 12 more points. They got to get split up between the whole team. But we talk about the Bucks struggles, but what I kind of want to focus on a little bit is everybody is talking about like Giannis trying to get out of there, but Giannis made this bed.
Giannis is a master. I've not seen someone control the narrative in a way that paints him as like he's almost like saying like blame me but trade me. That's what he's doing, and I'm like, okay, I'll take the blame, but trade me to get out of here. And I'm just kind of like, he's kind of giving himself an out in case it does go bad. He's already took the blame, so like you can't really say much if he does demand a trade. But I kind of think like he's been flirting with. I think he is considering leaving. I think he looks at the team and he's like, okay, at best, I gotta hope Chris comes back and does something and kind of maybe glues us together. But if it doesn't, we're kind of SOL. And I want to win. And I don't think he views this team as capable of winning. I don't think he'll come out and say it, but I don't think based on what he's saying, I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, and also it just doesn't look like this team is vibing. They're not passing the vibes meter. They look like they're going through the motions. Dame never wanted to go there from the start. You know what I mean? He wanted to go to Miami. I think him and his agent handled it very nasty, and that's why he's not in Miami. You know what I mean? And I just don't think that they're clicking. everybody that I hear talk about this, they say Giannis isn't really setting screens to get Dame open. He's setting screens to get himself open. He's slipping the screens. He's constantly doing other things. They was like, Dame really only has like real connection and some type of like productivity and connectivity with Brook Lopez in the pick and roll game. You know what I mean? Or the pick and pop game. So it's like, the Bucks, they just struggling. I don't even really want to point, like, honestly, I don't even want to point the finger at Doc Rivers, because even last year, although they were winning games with Adrian Griffin, they wasn't feeling him. And I don't think that they feeling Doc, but I also just don't think that they can really do anything. I don't think there is a coach out there that can say, hey, we're going to completely change everything and we're going to make this team the best in the game.
Oh, right? They have a coach. They have a replacement. He's on the bench.
Yeah, Darvin Ham. I know. They got two of your favorite coaches over there, man. I already knew you was going to say that.
Darvin Hamas.
You said that Taurean Prince was going to get a lot of minutes, but honestly, they don't have anybody outside of Taurean that you could trust.
Chris is injured, so Taurean's going to have to take those minutes. Yeah. And I mean, like I said, I like Taurean. I just think he plays 35 minutes a game.
He plays 20 minutes. Yeah, so, but Chris Middleton hasn't been healthy since 2022 when he got hurt against the Celtics. Yeah. Ever since that injury, he has been in and out of the lineup ever since. Like, so that's another guy that's pushing you up against the apron. Like, you got to pay him. His checks are still clearing. So it's like, well, what can you do? At this point, what can you do to get better in Milwaukee? There's really nothing you can do but trade Dame, but trade Giannis, and blow this shit up. That's really like the only thing that you could do to Miami.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm like.
I just don't want Giannis to get away scot-free. I just want people to talk about that dynamic.
Oh, no. The people, okay. The Giannis agendas are kind of funny because a lot of people who would criticize him are fans of other teams that want a superstar, like Golden State fans. So they've been laying these breadcrumbs out about there being some kind of connection behind the scenes. I've heard them say that Giannis's agent, Steph's agent, are from the same company, so that may be something that materializes in the future. Kind of like how Rich Paul did Anthony Davis to the Lakers. But I mean, I feel like Giannis deserves it, some of it, because it's like you're still the superstar, and Milwaukee did every single thing you wanted. Now, I don't know how much input he had on the Dame trade. I'm sure it was just like, hey, we got Dame, and he was like, oh, okay, cool, all right, but like,
I think he had a major influence with that.
I don't know. So tell us about that. What do you think?
Well, it was always them kind of entertaining the idea of playing with each other. But Dame was like, come to Portland, and Giannis was like, come to Milwaukee. And I think that Giannis won a title first. So it's kind of like, okay, well, I won a title, so now it makes sense for you to come to my team rather than come there. But I never think that it was really like anything serious when they were saying they want to play with each other. I think it was just like joking and all-star game type of talk or whatever the case may be. But Giannis, if I don't really remember everything correctly in the full details, but Giannis pushed for Dame. Giannis wanted Dame. He felt like they needed an offensive weapon from the perimeter. I don't think that he was really respected Drew Holiday. If Giannis didn't want Drew traded, he wouldn't have been traded. Damn near not to Portland, and you knew he was going straight to Boston as soon as it happened. So I don't think that Giannis pushed for that trade to happen, in my opinion. And I get tired of superstars. I get tired of superstars manufacturing deals, putting pressures and holding their contract negotiations hostage so that GMs can make moves that they want to make. And then when it blows up, they want to wipe their hands with it, and then they want to leave. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like that. And I said that about Kevin Durant when he was in Brooklyn. I said the same thing. So that's my take on it. Is there anything else you want to say about Milwaukee? Is there anything else you want to,
Let's see. I think the trade rumors will pick up.
Okay.
Probably we'll see how they are around like what end of the month.
I don't know.
December.
I don't feel like he's getting moved this year. I feel like something drastic will have to happen for him to get traded.
I think it's an off-season trade, because if you try to get Giannis now, Milwaukee's not about to fleece the hell out of you. Like, there's no way I'm not taking a haul for Giannis during the season.
And teams don't really know what they are right now. Teams don't really know, are we a good 3-3 or are we a bad 3-3? Like, teams don't really know right now. You know what I'm saying? So it's very, very early. And Golden State, to me, doesn't even make sense, because, again, that's another apron team. So you got two apron teams trying to make a trade. It's not going to work unless you get it by the penny. To my knowledge, you have to get it by the penny correct. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't be over a penny in trade talks. You have to get it literally like brick by brick, basically.
And if I'm Milwaukee, like the thing with these trades is like you have to like when you're trading a ticket seller player,
Mm-hmm.
you have to be very, very intentional about what you get back.
Of course.
Because you cannot trade a guy that you got fans coming and paying money to, and then you just have no way to quickly rebuild and bring those fans back in a couple seasons. Like it's just not
I think
good
Milwaukee
business.
is like a pure bred place, though. Think about how many years they were literally irrelevant, and they still did
Yeah,
fine.
bro.
You know what
They
I'm
they
saying?
know they
So
know they're not going to get free agents.
yeah. So
So
I mean,
so you got to draft. Those places got to
yeah,
draft. So
yeah, for sure.
yeah, yeah.
I guess we can segue to the other point. I want to say that the one that you said you wanted to do. I want to say that one for last. Kevin Durant rips Stephen A. Smith. He called him a clown. He said this is after comments that Stephen A. Smith basically said, you know, he's not really that great of a leader. There's certain things that he could do well. He's a great player. He's going to show up, but he's not really a great leader in terms of like certain intangibles he's missing. Kevin Durant responded. He said, "Yeah, Stephen A. I don't understand how people even listen to him. I've been in the league for 18 years. I've never seen Stephen A. at a practice or a film session or a shoot around. I've never seen him anywhere but on TV talking shit about players. He's a clown to me. He's always been a clown. You could write that too." End quote. What do you think about those comments that Stephen A. Smith made? Is it accurate or like what do you think?
I think they're both accurate. I think KD, you're not the leader, but also Stephen A. You are on TV all damn day criticizing players. He is kind of responsible for the way basketball discourse has become toxic over. He's one of the reasons why basketball discourse has become toxic over the years. I like what Kevin Durant said, honestly, because I'm just like, look, I don't think Kevin Durant's like the type of leader like a I don't know how to describe it. You know, like there's levels of leadership where it's like
Yeah. He doesn't
I
have
don't
that
think
Draymond in him. He doesn't
yeah,
have
like
that
he doesn't have the
Draymond.
top level leadership. But is he a
Michael
leader?
Jordan.
Is he a leader on some level? Obviously, because he's a star, right?
Mm-hmm.
He not unprofessional, and he's right. Stephen A., you ain't been to no practices, you ain't been to no field rooms, you ain't been to no huddles, you ain't been to no locker room, so you can't really talk about me like that. And I like players doing that because I've noticed that a lot of the narratives on players were controlled by these guys in the media, and they don't deserve to have that much influence on how a player is received.
I mean, I sent you a link. Well, I sent you a picture, a screenshot of a Kevin Durant quote from 2016. He said, "Steph Curry is the face of the franchise, and that helps me out because I don't have to. I don't want to have to be the leader. I'm not a leader. I'm bad at saying, quote, stand behind me and follow me, end quote." Kevin Durant said himself 8 years ago, 7 years
Yep.
ago, 6 years ago, whatever the case may be. He said that he isn't a leader. I don't
Yeah.
understand what's so controversial about this take. Stephen A. Smith, there are levels to leadership. There's obviously levels to leadership. Some guys lead by example, some guys are rah rah, and sometimes some guys are balances of both, right? But Chauncey Billups, I remember he was on a podcast. This is before he even started coaching. He was saying what he said about Carmelo. He said Carmelo was the type of leader where he gonna show up early, he gonna leave late, he gonna lead by example, he gonna do what he gonna have to do what he had to do. But he said he also, when he got to the Denver, when he got traded there, he said they was practicing in gold chains with jewelry on. That's what Chauncey said. So Chauncey's leadership kind of came in and shifted Melo. So Melo was the lead by example guy, and Chauncey was the more, I guess, direct approach guy. And it was a great balance. And you've seen that the Denver Nuggets had like the best playoff run that they've had, you know, since Jokic, obviously, and they went to the conference finals. So you do need that. But I believe firmly that Kevin Durant is a lead by example guy.
I
I
would
don't know
agree.
if you remember, and I'm not trying to hog up all the time. I'm just saying, like, I don't know if you remember a reporter years ago, like a decade or so ago, said, "Hey, Kevin Durant, like, why don't you try to like rein in Russell Westbrook when it's clutch time and say, hey, give me the ball?" And Kevin Durant said something of the nature of like, he a grown man, like I can't tell another grown man what to do. And I remember that was a topic on First Take. Like I remember that. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where this is coming from. Where like we trying to rewrite this quote unquote narrative.
Rewrite what? Like I don't think we're saying. I
Well,
don't
not
think
rewrite,
that.
not rewrite. My bad.
Yeah, like I don't think that Kevin he's not like a leader, but like I think there's just levels to it. He like I agree. He's a lead by example guy. Like I think he just is like, hey, like this is what I do. This is what I expect. This is what you would, and I do what I expect out of y'all as well. So Like I think Stephen A. need to leave alone, bro.
I don't know, man. I think
It
that
just
Steve. I think Stephen A. got a valid point. I mean, okay, cool. He's on TV. He's criticizing guys all day. Cool, but he also gives Kevin Durant flowers. To me, he's giving him flowers. Like sometimes, even when I think that he should be better with his analysis. The only thing that he says about Kevin Durant when it comes to him as a player, he's 6'11", he's 7 feet with a handle who can shoot from 40. That's what he's been saying for the past 15 years about Kevin Durant. Like, if anything, like he needs to get a better analysis because that's been one of the things. Like everybody's so in love with Kevin Durant's skill set. I've been saying that for a long time. His intangibles aren't there. What happened in Brooklyn when Kevin Durant was the best player and the leader? You know what happened? You know what I'm saying? Like Golden State, Draymond ran him out of town. You know what I'm saying? Like what happened when he got Phoenix? Ain't nothing really happened bad, but there's reports that he didn't talk to his teammates in Phoenix, and he was unhappy in Phoenix. Like Kendrick Perkins said that. I don't know how much reliable of a source he is, but I'm just saying he's a former player. He could talk. You know what I'm saying? So it's always something with missing with Kevin Durant, and I'm not and I'm not saying that like he isn't a leader, but I think he's on the lower spectrum of leaders in my opinion.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. I mean, I think it's just we want Kevin Durant to be something he's not, and that's just not fair because I mean he is what he is.
I mean, if anybody could tell you they're not a leader, in their prime, they go and play with the team that they were just up 3-1 against. They collapsed, and in that same offseason, they went to go play with that 73-9 team that you was up 3-1 against. Like, that's the epitome of not being a leader. I have never seen an athlete do that in any sport, anywhere, anytime. If I'm missing it, point me to the guy. Like, point me to them. So I don't understand that. I don't understand why this is such a hot topic story and why KD trying to attack Stephen A. They must got some type of deal where they criticize each other.
Nah, bro, this is not the first time that KD and Stephen A. have had like confrontations. I want to say like his mom got involved one time.
Yeah, he apologized to his mom on national TV.
Like this stuff happens. I mean, I just kind of think like Stephen A. been doing this a long ass time. So I think any player would probably get annoyed with that shit. Like I'm sure LeBron is tired of Skip Bayless, but it's like he ain't never gonna say nothing to him.
He's
right?
He's smoking on that Skip pack. Man. He ain't been nowhere to be found, man. Shit.
Yeah, his career outlasted Skip. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, for sure. And he was a journalist. He don't even hoop. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Last topic, man. I kind of want to mix two topics into one. Okay. I'm sorry. I want to mix. We talking about the Golden State Warriors. I want to talk about the Golden State Warriors and then segue into the Houston Rockets. The Golden State Warriors are 5-1, I believe, and they won their last 3. They beat the Pelicans twice, obliterated them the first game, and kind of like just handled them. They obliterated them 2 games in a row. They blew them out by 18 in the first game, blew them out by 15 in the second matchup. Then they played the Rockets this past Saturday. I was very, very annoyed with that game. They were up as much as 31 before Houston came back. Golden State has looked impressive, man, and Buddy Hield is shooting the skin off the ball. He is shooting the skin off the ball. What's impressed you most about them? Are they real contenders? Are they pretenders? Is it way too early to tell? What's your
okay? It's a lot of things. First of all, they've been playing bad teams.
Okay,
like their first couple of games were against bad teams.
Utah, Clippers, Pelicans twice. Yeah,
like so that's a schedule thing. But I'll be more impressed when they actually beat the elite teams. Then I'll be like, oh, okay, all right. As of right now, I mean, it's Golden State, right? Their shooting is always going to be a threat. It can upset anybody. I think I would like to put them in a star category. I would like to put them in the playoff upset category, where if they get there and they catch you slipping or they're hot, they could pull off an upset.
It would depend on the matchup for sure.
It depends on the matchup because they got a lot of shooters now. Melton is shooting it well, Hield, Curry. Then you've got the development of Kuminga, Moody, and you still got Andrew Wiggins. I think they have a good team. Like right now, I think they're so familiar with each other. Like they really only added
Buddy Hield.
Buddy Hield, Kyle Anderson. Everybody else returning, so they have a lot of familiarity with each other. It's the same thing with the Lakers. Like the Lakers, obviously a flawed team, but what's saving them right now is they're familiar with each other.
Yeah,
like that's why they're able to compete against teams they probably should lose to, right? But that's what's helping them right now. Golden State, they know everybody knows their offense. Buddy Hield is like the perfect person
Oh
for the offense.
man, he's a killer.
And God, man, like I said years ago, I was like, look, when they played the Lakers, the only fear I had was Kuminga, because I was like, if Kuminga gets it together, he gives a different type of threat because he's such a
From the
good
wing.
downhill player playing next to Steph.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
if he figures it out, then they're going to be right back to where they are. I mean, I don't think they're going to be like as good as OKC or Denver or Minnesota, Dallas, but again, they're playoff upset category to your team to me.
So listen to this, man. Offensive rating, the Warriors, 4th in the NBA. Defensive rating, the Warriors, 2nd in the NBA. Net rating, 1st. 3-point shooting percentage, 3rd. Their next 5 games against Washington, the Celtics, the Cavaliers, OKC, and Dallas. So they have they play Houston on the road. And then tomorrow they play the Wizards. Then they go to Boston. Then they go to Cleveland. Then they go to OKC. Then they go to back home to play Dallas. So I think they're going to obliterate Washington easily. And then those next 4, they probably going to run into some hiccups.
The one thing about Golden State, I will say, with this iteration of their team, I do think you can't get in love with you can't beat them in a 3-point shootout.
Mm-hmm.
I think you can't beat Golden State that way. I mean, their team is just like built to just generate threes.
Yeah,
just like Boston, but like I feel like Boston is crazy. But yeah, like Golden State's going to be that next 5 game stretch you talked about. That's going to be very, very interesting.
Yeah, for sure. I just they were up, like I said, they were up 31 against Houston. We walked them down. It was a very frustrating game. This is the last topic. I guess we'll just get right into it with the Houston Rockets. You said you want to talk about them. I'm kind of just. Last night was really disappointing for me. Really disappointing as a fan. So you go ahead and you say what you have to say, and I'll go last.
Fred VanVleet.
Oh my gosh, starting there.
This man, like, I knew he was overpaid, but I didn't say anything because I was just like, whatever. Like, but now it's just like, bro, come on. Ime is like, there's some favoritism, I think, going. I think he needs to be a little bit more flexible with how he uses rotations in certain players in certain spots. But Houston, man, I just don't get it, bro. You guys have talent. Like, you guys have talent. It's just the shit does not come together and translate. And it's frustrating because, like, none of those guys suck to me. Individually, they don't suck. With the exception of, like, Fred. Everybody else, I feel like, these are rotational players that should be playing, and they should be playing better. But I don't know what it is. Like, is it pride? Like, that team I feel like doesn't have leadership.
Yeah.
That there needs to be a on the floor leader rallying these guys, getting in their fucking heads, because this shit is mental. Like,
but ironically, that was Fred last year. He was that guy. See, Fred year 1 was a great signing. Plus 19 wins. Houston had a lot of injuries last season, and they still won 41 games. Fred this year has just been the epitome of bad basketball. And everybody wants to talk about the assist-to-turnover ratio with him, but he's not even trying to make certain passes. It's like what people call KD an efficiency merchant. They say he won't take certain shots because he just doesn't want to mess up his percentages, even if that means, like, bro, you passing up shots, you might lose the game. Hey, I just want to protect my field goal percentage. A lot of people say that. So to a certain degree, Fred VanVleet is an assist turnover merchant. They used to say that about Chris Paul as well. For me,
and you know what?
Okay,
do you feel like it's because there's too many young players?
That he's assist turnover merchant?
No. That the leadership suffers with Houston.
No, I don't think that, man. It's a wonky fit, man. It's a really, really wonky fit.
Mm-hmm.
Jabari Smith, I have said this on my regular channel, RedNationBlogga. Y'all check that out, YouTube. But I've said this. Jabari Smith has to be 38 to 42% from 3 on 6 to 7 shots a game, threes a game. He has to be. It's not optional. It's not up for debate. He has to be that type of a shooter. Last night, he was 5 for 13 from three, but he hasn't gotten up 13 threes in I don't know how long. Sometimes he doesn't even get 13 shots in a game, let alone 13 threes. But the matchup just predicated him getting that, and he played well, to his credit. But he has to be more efficient from three because that opens up Fred VanVleet's game in the middle. I mean, that opens up Alperen Sengun's game in the middle. It opens up the spacing and the angles opportunity for Jalen Green. And Dillon Brooks, believe it or not, is a consistent catch and shoot 3-point threat. He will knock you down. You can't just leave Dillon Brooks open for sure. Like he can shoot, but Fred and Jabari in the starting lineup are sinking our offense so much it's hard to watch sometimes. And it's a point that I'm trying to get. Oh, there was a point. Memphis, the first game against San Antonio, the second half against the Hornets, and last night's game. That's 4 games. Houston has either come out not ready to play, or they've come out ready to play, and they let their foot off the gas and let the team back in the game. 3 of those times they let the team back in the game, they won. Against San Antonio, against Dallas. The first game of the season versus the Hornets, they let them back in the game. They ended up losing. So Houston has a problem playing a complete game from the first quarter to the fourth quarter and closing it out. That's their problem. That's their biggest problem this year. And as for Ime, I don't know. Like I said last night in the spaces, I think Fred has some type of blackmail on him. He has to. He has to have some type of blackmail. Man. Bro, Reed Shepherd hit a 3 last game.
Yeah.
At like the 8-minute mark. Ime subbed out Reed and put in Fred for some inexplicable reason. And although the Rockets still came back and they were still in the game and it was a back and forth game, we needed a 3-point shot. We needed a 3-point shooter. Reed made one. Let him close. Give him an opportunity to close, bro. It's just I'm hogging up the time. You go. What have you seen? Like
no. You keep going. Keep going. Okay. Keep going.
Yeah, man. It's just like for me, bro. It's like he's struggling to find the right buttons, and it's only been 6 games. I don't want to overreact. I don't want to be that fan that's like change the starting lineup, but there might need to be a change in the starting lineup. Mm-hmm. Jabari may need to come off the bench, and they never gonna do this in a million years, so it's dumb for me to even suggest it. But Sengun should come off the bench. Have Jabari at the 5, Tari Eason, Dillon Brooks, Jalen Green, and Fred. Do that 5, and then have Amen Thompson and Sengun, the first 2 off the bench. It's not going to happen. I don't think it should happen. I want Sengun to work his way out, especially since they just paid him the contract. But for fit purposes, it unlocks Jabari when he's at the 5. It unlocks him. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
Why can't he just work out the rotations to where when Jabari comes back in, when Jabari's with bench units, he's at the 5?
Because he still wants to play. He likes to play Jock Landale. He likes to play Steven Adams, although Steven Adams didn't play last night. He likes to play Steven Adams. He likes to have a big on the court. He will go small, but only if like literally the game predicates or a team goes small against him, he'll go small to match back up. But it's like he doesn't have like a real go-to rotation. His ideal go-to rotation is Tari and Amen coming off the bench first, Jalen closing out the first, then he bringing in Reed Shepherd and Fred VanVleet. That's what he did in the preseason. But it's not working in the regular season. It's really not working. And we're not getting the necessary shooting that we need for it to work. So I really don't know what the fix is for this. Like, I don't know. The starting lineup is good when you look at the offensive rating, the defensive rating, the net rating. When you look at that, the offense is good, man. But Ime should have recognized early in the game. They were down like 18-4 or some shit. Crazy. Like the first 4 minutes of the game. At that moment, he should have subbed. He should have making subs. But he let the hole get deeper and deeper. He didn't make the first sub until like the 6-minute mark. I think he should have like went quicker. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. The way that they was playing Jalen Green when he was getting screens from Sengun, I think he let the hole get too deep, and that's ultimately what happened.
Yeah, that's good analysis because I feel like there needs to be y'all need a floor general. Fred, but like I think you guys really need someone to like dictate the hierarchy of that team. From a playmaking organization.
They really wanted to be Jalen. They wanted to be Jalen, fam. They do. They give him the ball. They gave him the ball a lot down the stretch. He sat for 20 minutes, came back into the game, and they literally gave him the ball, bro. Hey, right now I need you to sit up and be a high usage player. You can't do it. You need some time to warm up. That's what they did to Jalen Green yesterday.
Oh, damn.
They wanted to be Jalen, bro. They really do. They giving him his opportunities, but last night was not his night, and that was his first bad game.
Did Jalen get his extension yet?
Yeah, he been got his. He has a 2+1.
Oh, okay. So wait, there's no more contract debate for
him or Sengun.
Okay, all right. Because I thought they were trying to pick which one to pay. Still,
no. That wasn't the case.
Yeah,
but yeah, man. Is that it? Is that all you had, or is there anything else you want to?
Yeah, that's all I had. That's all I had.
Oh, okay, man. That's good, man. This has been ending of No Narratives Podcast, episode 23. Thank you, Quinn, as always, for joining, man.
Appreciate y'all folks for watching us.
Happy Sunday, y'all. Salute. We out.
All right, out of here.